let's start in Group A. Let's start in Group A.
So I've kind of gone. The only thing I do remember from the last one is saying I don't think Germany are even going to challenge for the top of the group.
Yep.
Likely come second, could come third. I think they're still probably the favorites in this group by a long shot. Obviously, they're playing at home. But a lot of players who we did not expect to be in the squad 6 months ago are now in the squad and are in good form. Like Toni Kroos had retired from international football. He's now come back and playing and then retiring from all of football after the Euros.
And you see Fabrizio had the exclusive that he's going to play in 2020. Someone quote tweeted after he said that he's going to retire when he tweeted whatever in May that he has the exclusive that, or in March, that he has the exclusive that he'll be back at Real Madrid next year, and people were just clowning him, so that was just funny.
Fabrizio has kind of become a tap-in merchant.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's sad. But, yeah, I mean, I think this team is really, really well built. They have some weak spots. The number 9, obviously, we've spoken about plenty. Kai Havertz in great form, so it'd be surprising not to see him as the number 9. But they have, Wirtz and Musiala, may not be able to play both of them. Like, they have Pavlovic, a young stud, probably doesn't even get into the midfield to start the tournament, could work his way in there, also depending on how many minutes Toni Kroos can play, X, Y, Z, whatever else is going to come. Got Gundogan, who may not even start. I mean, there's a lot of really good players. I think Nagelsmann has struggled a little bit. He needs to rely on his young talent a lot. Like, this team has some good veterans, but they need to rely on the young talent. That's where the excitement comes from. That's where the creativity comes from. But I'm excited to watch Germany play.
Yeah, I think that was. It's funny because it happened at the start, but that was my biggest takeaway. The way we spoke about Germany, I think I still had them going through, but second, and now I'm pretty confident that they can actually put together a competitive run at home. I mean, this is obviously different because it's club football, but it's the German culture. Being at the Allianz for the Bayern Real Madrid game, the Champions League, the German fans are just absolutely insane, and I think they are going to be a huge supporter of the team, obviously, and get behind them, and I think that'll give them a big advantage. Outside of the fact that 6 months later, we're talking now, Dortmund, Bayern, they kind of turned around their seasons, kind of not. Leverkusen obviously went unbeaten. Like, a lot changed from when we talked about it then, and a lot of those players obviously are in great form. And, yeah, I now have them. I think they actually easily go top of this group. And I think they are actually capable of a deep run if Havertz can stay on this form. I think he's going to be one of the keys if he can be as good as he is right now.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who is your center back pairing for Germany? Because based off of what I've seen and all of the matches they've played under Nagelsmann, it's not the center back pairing I would choose.
I think we need to, because we're going to have a lot of these conversations. Is this question who we think Nagelsmann will start or who I would start?
I think it's both, right? Because I think it's kind of the issue with, I mean, we talk about it all the time with Saliba in France. It's like what they do in their international setup and what they do for club football can be very different, number one. And managers playing different styles can change who they want.
So I would go Rudiger and Schlotterbeck.
Of course.
That would be the clear two for me. Just, I think balance-wise, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And
a natural left footer at left center back is nice.
Yeah. And would it be crazy to play two center backs who are going to be starting in the Champions League final for the Euros? I mean,
it seems like a no-brainer.
It seems like a no-brainer. I think, that would be mine. Who do you think he'll have starting?
He's been playing Ta a lot. And I mean, Ta really had a great season, obviously.
He did, but he also didn't even start. He wasn't like the first center back on the team sheet for Leverkusen.
No, I mean, I think, again, like, it's a question you asked, like, is it the player we think should start or who's going to start? I think Ta probably starts the first match because it seems like that's who Nagelsmann has gone with.
Ta with who?
With Rudiger.
With Rudiger, yeah.
And then Middlestad at left back, Kimmich at right back type of thing.
Yep.
And then do you think it's a Pavlovic-Kroos pivot or a Kroos-Gundogan pivot? Or is it all three of them and then it's only Wirtz or Musiala at left wing?
Well, he won't do this, but what I would love to see him do is the Leverkusen setup where you play kind of two, not out-and-out wingers, but two center attacking mid kind of winger hybrids right behind the striker, because I think it would be so stupid to not play Wirtz and Musiala. And I think they can, the same way Bayern played Muller through the middle sometimes, so Musiala went out left. And I think if he wants to play Wirtz centrally, you have to put...
I don't think you can play Wirtz, Musiala, and Sane.
No?
So you're going to play four attackers, basically, because then you can play Havertz at center forward, or you're not going to play a center forward.
Four attackers. Yeah. And then have... Probably, if you want to do that, you probably have to play Pavlovic, who can give you those legs in midfield and kind of cover. That's
It's what I said before we even got into the teams. It's like, is he going to rely on all this young talent, and then with the few key veterans, like obviously Hummels isn't there, so like the veterans are Rudiger and Kroos and Neuer and Kimmich, and then the rest is
which should be enough.
27, 28
but
years
if
old,
you don't play
German
Wirtz and
regular.
Musiala, like that's for me that's a fireable offense.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them both for sure. Rest of the group.
Yeah,
anything you want to go
So
specifically
I switched
in on?
up. We could just run through it quickly. I went Germany, Hungary, Scotland, Switzerland.
You put Switzerland last.
I did.
Wow.
I switched up on Switzerland. I went through their lineup, and I just I was outside of Xhaka. They just didn't the players who are supposed to be carrying them just had extremely underwhelming seasons across Europe. And I do want to note that I do have Scotland finishing first in the third place rankings.
Really?
Yeah, so
We have completely opposite views on this.
So I have
I don't
Germany.
think Scotland get a point.
So I have Germany finishing first and probably taking every point. So that's why I think Scotland and Hungary could finish very close on points, maybe even it's a goal differential thing, and Scotland get enough points to get through in the third place. That's how I had it finishing.
Interesting. So my team in this group that I think is incredible is Hungary. They haven't lost a game since September of 2022 against Italy.
Yeah.
They don't concede goals very easily, and they have just enough individual talent, like we saw with Czech Republic that year with Schick. They have enough individual talent where you get a 1-1, you get a 1-0, and then you find your way either second or third in the group. And then knockout football is knockout football.
That's exactly why I had them second. I think they're on great form.
I have them coming in second in this group as well.
Oh, you do?
And
Okay.
Switzerland coming third.
Do you have Switzerland getting through on
Yeah,
points?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, Switzerland, I think they have a lot of players. They have enough experience to me where it's there'll be a side. It's a similar way I'm going to talk about Croatia, where they have enough experience that I think they'll get the 3 points they need to get against Scotland. And once you get 3 points, you probably get through as a third place team.
You have Akanji and Xhaka, and then outside of them two,
is it Summer? Is Summer going to be the goalie, or is it going to be Kobel?
I should be Kobel. I think he's been absolutely fantastic.
It's another one where it's country versus.
But I was looking more towards the front three, and it's I don't know who's going to get them their goals.
I mean, Okafor needs to be in better form.
Right. I think he's a good player, but he just didn't get the time at Milan this year. So that's more what I was concerned about is again, you think a similar Croatia thing, just on merit, you think they'll get him. But I just looked at it and I was they could be one of the more disappointing teams. There's always a team who you don't think is going to win, but it's
Turkey was last time,
exactly.
where everyone was Turkey could win their group, and then they were -9 goal differential.
I think they'll be a disappointment, but I do have Scotland in third getting through, and then we both have Germany, Hungary at the top of that group.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hungary could win that group because I think Hungary could get 7 points.
Yeah, I've completely flipped a switch. I think Germany is rightfully so.
I mean, here's the question: as much as Germany has all this talent, do they have the goals? Because Musiala not in his best goal scoring season. He's amazing, but he's had trouble in front of net. Who knows if Wirtz is going to start? Sané is kind of hit or miss, and Havertz kind of hit or miss. I just worry that Germany, they have had great squads and had nothing good happen.
That's so fair, but if you look in the past 3 months, Wirtz has been more over the season. But Sané scored a big goal in that. I do think they'll have enough. And once again, I hated on Havertz so much. I think he's in great form. If he decides to flop and not be good, they'll suffer as a result. But I think if he was very, very good to finish the season. I'll be the first one to admit it.
His goal scoring numbers as a center forward this year are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
8 goals, 7 assists in 13 matches.
For me, you potentially not from the defending through the midfield, but center attacking mid and winger wise, I almost think he's better supported in this Germany side than he is than he was in the Arsenal side. They might not be creating as many chances,
No, I get what you're
but
saying.
just talent-wise, talent for talent, I would take the Germany setup. But anything else on Group A, or should we move?
We can move.